face some or the other kind of bias. Now, my next question is to Dr. Nilima ma'am. What is the impact on the career growth? That is, how does gender bias affect promotions, leadership opportunities, and access to professional growth in the medical field?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Zeba, and because I'm from SRMS, welcome to everyone over here on my behalf as well. I'd like to say over here that gender bias, all of us are facing at some point or the other, but let us first define what is gender bias. Gender bias is when you're equal to your male counterpart, but you're not being given equal opportunities. Sometimes it may happen that already there may be more males applying for one position, a leadership position, a promotion, and lesser females, and so the female doesn't get it. So you cannot just name everything as gender bias. Of course it exists, but let me also tell you, sometimes gender bias exists subconsciously. Whoever is hiring you or whoever is considering you for a promotion or an advancement may subconsciously think, because there is so much stereotype in for women, they will think if we give her this opportunity or we give her this promotion or this position, there will be issues of taking more leave because women have to have work-life balance. They sometimes have to take care of their families and their home issues, and then there is so much leave. Maternity leave is the only leave only women take. So every time people who are hiring you or who are promoting you or giving you a position, they might have this in the back of their mind, and there may be a subconscious gender bias and some discrimination in this. So I still feel, but if you are good enough, if you are more professional, you are well qualified, and you are doing as good or you are as suitable for a position than anybody else, then I think you can stand up to that. Women have to work twice as harder to get half the due.
Yeah,
right? This is what they say. But let me add to it that they are working twice as hard, and then they are 4 times better than their male.
Yeah, efficiency also. Now, Dr. Nidhi ma'am, I would like to know that women physicians often struggle with work-life balance expectations. How can institutions address this bias related to maternity leave, caregiving responsibilities, and part-time work? Do they have a role in this?
In this part of the question, I just like to address the first part, which is work-life balance. The other, what the institutions can do, there is another question coming up, and I'll take it with that. So when you talk of work-life balance, how does this term come about? Because what is life without work and what is work without life? So how come this separation came about? The term work-life balance originated sometimes in 1980. But that came only after there was separation of work and home. So how come home and work were separated? Because in most primal societies, most of us were agricultural societies. So work and home or work and life were never separate. As an agricultural society, you worked in the fields and you worked in the homes, and the entire family worked there, including the kids. The wife worked there, the man worked there, the woman worked there, and the kids worked there. So for this, we need to go a little back in the history and realize that how the separation of work and home came about. So it was during the Industrial Revolution when the men started working and the women also started working in the factories and the industries, that the home was separated from work. So I'm not going into the details very briefly. But then again the question comes that how did this work-home separation became gendered? Separation to war, that's okay, but then how did it become gendered? So after the Second World War, when most of the men went out to war, the women took up the positions in the industries, and the women realized that paid work had its own perk. They were not doing a lot of unpaid work at home. So when the World War ended and the men came back, they wanted their jobs back. So it became very important to emphasize that the work at home is a woman's work and the work outside, the paid work, is the man's work. So this is how the gendered separation of work and home came about. So because work-life balance is a very superfluous thing, we earn our livelihood to live. This is why it is called a livelihood. So this work-home separation we should understand that the entire history behind the evolution. So now that it has happened, as I said, it has become gendered also. Because originally the work-life balance term came in context of women only. It is not only now that the men are talking about work-life balance because expectation from them at the home has increased. So I would just like 30 seconds exercise. I would like all the women here to stand up, especially the married women. Maybe do that. Just a 30 second exercise.
We can go back.
Everybody, the panelists, everybody. Now raise one of your hands if you are at all. Raise your other hand if your husband is working outside the house. Raise one of your legs if you are looking after children. Raise one of your legs if you are looking after children. And raise your other leg if you're taking care of an elderly at home or some.
Balance maintain करना मुश्किल है.
So you realize that it is impossible. What is it? It is impossible. And that is what is happening.
And work never stops for
The
females.
work which was supposed to be done. The work which was supposed to be done by an entire village, we are expecting it to be done only by the women, and it is not possible. Not possible for anyone. So, what we need, we have a quote over here which Dr. Zeba will display, that women are not going to be equal outside the home unless and until the men are equal inside it. So I think work-life balance में जो हम बात करते हैं, तो जो workplace के experiment that I did was not an original experiment. Let me be upfront about that. I'll just read a small quote. This was in 1882. What I'm saying was written in 1882, and we came to can women practice medicine? How can women